Every man, every man. And when the moon is full and the wolves will howl, she swam across the lake just to get to my house. Yes. And she said, I want more. Give me more. Disgusting stuff. I want more. A little bit of. Give me more. Disgusting stuff. Disgusting stuff. She looks upon a world that's dark and tangled. I never saw her turn her head in shame. She is standing out the open window. I'm lying here alone, cold and gray. So take another breath and come up for your oxygen. Hey, you know you wanna kiss the flesh and blood of every man, every man. Well, we all took turns and you swallowed the world. I never realized that you sat with us, man. And she said, I want more. Give me more disgusting stuff. A little bit of disgusting stuff. Disgusting stuff. You're making me stop. Disgusting stuff. A little bit of disgusting stuff. Give me more disgusting stuff. Yeah, a little bit of disgusting stuff. Hi everyone, Dan here, and I just wanted to put a little snippet about AstroWorld and what we do because I want to start getting the word out because I think it's becoming more and more of a giant community, and I want to get the word out to some other people. So what we do at AstroWorld is we hold astrophotography chats on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we just talk astrophotography. Wednesday's more of a techie kind of advanced intermediate, and Fridays is more of a newbie kind of thing. So if you want to check us out, and if you want to, hang out with some semi-decent people that like to go off the rails a little bit and have fun while they're doing it, come check us out at AstroWorldWeb.com, and you can check out the schedule, and you can sign up for all the free giveaways that we do. We just gave away an Eagle 4 Pro, an Optilong filter kit, Charles Brackenstein's books, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So come to AstroWorldWeb.com, hang out with us, have a good time, and as always, remember to keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. And here
the
we
run,
are.
and the
And
run,
the
and the
one.
run.
There we go. And we have a full house tonight. It is awesome. So we got it's me, Eric, Pete, Jesse, and I think eventually I've wrangled Steve Miller to be in the fifth honeymooner for AstroWorld TV. So I think that might actually happen. So for if we need another wing person, he'd be happy to slip in. I think not said and done yet, but that's what's going on. So, wow, it's been a long time since I've seen a lot. Pete, welcome back. Jesse, welcome back. I mean,
Sure.
Eric, I see like twice a week, all the time these days. And Pete, how's Teledyne working out for you?
Well, I don't officially start until Monday, but man, I tell you, there's a lot of stuff to learn about their cameras. And I didn't realize this, but there's going to be a show in Berkeley, UC Berkeley, in September. Did you know that Palo Alto, Stanford, has a cyclotron?
How would I know that?
I know. I didn't know that. I swear to God. So anyway, what they do is they've already got cameras there detecting X-rays. So it's going to be interesting going back to in September to this conference that they've got, because there's a bunch of new universities that are going to actually start putting in these small little detectors. So it's going to be interesting. But no, I don't officially start until Monday. So
well, I mean that's that's a good thing. You back on the horse again.
Yeah,
so,
back on the horse again.
And let me just let everybody know real quick. So there was an accident in the title. I mislabeled a constellation. No Andromeda tonight. Jesse's going to be doing Pegasus tonight, which she's dreading. And Eric's got Cetus, and
we already did Cassiopeia.
Yeah. And we did 2 slides of Perseus, and then I kind of gave up. So I'm doing that tonight. So I finally got it done. I finished it literally like 20 minutes ago. So that being said, just some things. Oh no, Charity's back. Oh, Charity, it was very dry without you here last Wednesday. It was very dry.
Dry.
The barometer was real high. So there you go. but welcome back, Charity. Welcome back. We missed you. Everybody in the chat, Tom, Captain Rescue, Josh, everybody who's in there, thank you for coming back and keep on coming back. We haven't done sponsors in a couple of shows. We should probably get back to that a little bit, because why don't we do that? I know we're running a little late, so I'll kind of run through it a little quickly, and let me get Pete back up here real quick, because we lost Pete for a couple of weeks, but he is back. And Eric is now twice, and Pete, there you go, Pete, and there you go. All right, so for those of you that are new to the show, welcome to the show. This is what we do on Wednesdays and Friday nights, and we have guests during the winter and sometimes during the summer. Looking forward to our next guest, probably in August. That's in a couple days, so hopefully that's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. We'll get to that. But we do have sponsors that do give us prizes to give away, and we give away lots of stuff every month. We give out stuff from Woodland Hills, Camera Concepts, AstroWorld telescopes. Also, who am I missing? Masters of PixInsight as well. So our first sponsor is Woodland Hills Camera and Telescopes. Actually, tonight is the night actually for that. It's the last Friday of the month. So we'll be giving away a $50 gift certificate to Woodland Hills. So thank you to them. Also, we have our other sponsors, Prima Luce Lab, Camera Concepts, and Optolong. We gave away a bunch of stuff from Optolong previously this year, and looking to get my second shipment. It is now the second half of the year, so it's time to hit them up for some prizes, and hopefully they could come and hang out with us and give us some more stuff. So that's them. And then Masters of PixInsight and IP for AP. If you are a astro imager and you don't know Masters of PixInsight, you should go check them out. They do monthly live streams on processing tips and techniques. also with IP for AP, IP for AP is a great tool for astro processing, not only with PixInsight but with Photoshop as well. So go check that out as well. We give away free classes to Masters of PixInsight every Friday, and tonight is their show also. And IP for AP, we give away one year subscription every month to them. So if you're not involved with any of these giveaways, go to astralweb.com, go to the giveaways and sign up for them all. We also have member sponsors on Patreon and YouTube, so thank you to all of them. These are the nutty people that really put absurd amounts of money and help us out in a lot of ways. Sean Nielsen, thank you. Bob, John from the Off the Rails members, and man, there's one more. Shoot, I didn't do that. Man, I'm losing it. Dr. Hassan and Chris at our Quasar level. Charity George, I believe it was Dave Schaefer that somebody bumped up again. I forget who bumped it up again, but I'll get that fixed for Wednesday. Red Giant members, all the main sequence, all you guys, thank you so much. I could go through the whole thing, but thank you so much for all the support on YouTube and Patreon. So if you're interested in buying us a couple cups of coffee, feel free to join us on our Patreon account at AstroWorld TV on Patreon. So thank you to everybody. Even though it says July, that has changed. She had to reschedule due to prior commitments. Helena will be with us soon. She's going to university now, so she's in the process of moving to college. So it's going to be interesting to see what she has going on once she's in there. Also, once APP version 2.0 comes out, and that should come out very soon. They said third quarter, and we're in the third quarter. Mabula has offered to come on and show us some walkthroughs with APP. So that's a lot of stuff coming soon. And if you don't know, join us on all of our other social media platforms. We have a great Discord channel that we have built. I think we're almost at about 150 members right now. And Twitch, we're on Twitter, Instagram. We have over 1,100 in every one of them. So, and thank you. We just hit 1,860 subscribers on YouTube. So we're coming close to that 2,000. So thank you so much for everybody, the support and the love. Thank you for all the people in chat. And with that being said, we will go back to the show.
Back to the show.
Back to the show. There we go. Al, what's going on? Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. What do you mean bad start? What did I do? I didn't do it. Let's see. I have plans for my picks with the new. Oh, I need pictures. I need pictures. I need pictures of all the stuff. I need pictures of people's shirts. I need testimonials. We'll put them on the website. So, oh, the dry. Yes, it's been a very dry night. Yes.
Yes, very, very dry. Very,
my wife found this in one of my shorts. I don't know. This is
what?
What's it say, Dan?
2023 NEAC. So since April, this has been in one of my shorts. So, oh well. Oh, Hogarth is here. Welcome back, Mr. Hogarth. I won't use your real name because I just won't. But welcome back, buddy. Good to see you.
Whoa, nice.
Awesome.
Hello, sir.
So yeah, tonight we're doing walkthroughs on a couple of constellations, and basically that's what we got tonight. So we're going to be doing this probably once a week, or
like on Friday. Yeah, I mean, you got what? You have 88 constellations.
Yeah.
So 52 weeks.
38 of which are only in the northern
hemisphere.
Yeah. So,
hemisphere. So
doesn't that stink? There's 88 constellations, and we only see from mid-northern latitudes 38.
That's all.
Yep. That's all.
Goodness. I mean, I knew there was a bunch that we did not see, but I would not have guessed that low. My goodness.
You know, and part of the issue, yeah, we're in mid-northern. As you get more southern, you'll see more. But
we do have Polaris in the northern hemisphere, so I will say that. You know, we do have Polaris, so I guess
we do. But you know what? I think, and I don't know a lot about the southern hemisphere. So I'm taking a guess here. I don't know about the size of the constellations down in the south, because we got some really large constellations in the north.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just take a look at Pegasus. I mean, that thing is huge. The Big Dipper is huge. You know, I mean, what's the other one? The Cetus is huge.
Cetus is in the southern.
Draco is ridiculously long. I mean, you know, so I mean, you know, yeah, it goes all the way around. It goes
stayed in the sky. So I guess
What's
never really paid much attention to the ones in the southern hemisphere, but maybe they are a little small.
what's the river called? Eridanus?
Eridanus or something like that.
And Hydra.
Hydra's big.
Longest constellations. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know, as you said, with the river, it kind of starts just south of Orion, and it kind of goes into the southern hemisphere.
Oh, it goes all the way. You never see the whole thing. So not from here.
No.
But you're lucky if you see part of it. Most of it's pretty south from here.
Hercules.
Oh, we're gonna do Hercules. So that's gonna be. So right now we're doing the Clash of the Titans motif. That's what we're doing. So maybe we'll do a Jason and the Argonauts motif after that, because there is some.
That's pretty cool.
There is some in there too.
You know.
And then we'll do water dwellers like Aquarius, Pisces, that kind of stuff. You know, and we'll do something like that.
Yeah.
That works.
All right. So.
Greek names.
Well, is it Hercules or Heracles?
No, it's definitely Hercules.
Or is it Orion or Orion?
You know? Potato, tomato. Heracles. Heracles.
Oh my goodness, it's going south already. It must be Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, Heracles is Greek. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, but in New York it's Hercules.
Yeah, Hercules. Yeah,
Hercules in New York.
Hercules,
that's right.
Hercules is the Roman name, and Heracles is the Greek name.
Who started that movie, Dan? Hercules in New York. Who was in that movie? Is that Arnold?
No, Lou Ferrigno.
Was it Lou? That's right. Yeah.
Was it Lou?
I think it was Lou.
No, I think it was Arnold.
Hercules?
I thought it was Arnold. Yeah, I thought it was Arnold.
They dubbed his voice.
No, I'm sorry. Lou Ferrigno was the Hulk. I'm sorry.
That's right. Yeah. That's funny.
Yes.
Eric, you gonna get a new mount, Eric?
Yeah, as soon as I get a check from the insurance company. Whenever that is, because they're taking care of hail damage and roof damage and all of the other sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger in his acting debut.
Yeah, that was his debut.
1970.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that.
Yep, I remember that movie. I remember that movie because I was like, that was one of the first Arnold movies. Yeah, that was the very first Arnold movie, and that's one of the ones I saw. Because he was Mr. Olympia and everything, and then they had. And then when he talked, here I am, I'm thinking, like Terminator, but then it's this weird guy. I was like, what the hell?
And I can't understand what he's saying.
It's like, wait a minute, he sounds so proper.
He doesn't sound Greek. He doesn't sound.
It's like, wait a minute, he doesn't have. Where's his Austrian accent? Like, wait a minute.
Apparently, some people missed what happened to your mount, Eric. So maybe you could touch on it a little bit.
Yeah, briefly. What happened was my telescope and mount and everything. Bad storm.
Blew it over like a tin cup.
RA damaged. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was just a really bad thunderstorm. And usually, I was telling this to Jesse, normally I would have it on the pier, but for the past month, I've had it on the tri-pier imaging targets in Cepheus because my neighbor's super tall maple or oak, whatever it is, like a 40-foot tall tree, it blocks, those targets until like close to midnight. So I put everything on the tri-pier and I moved it towards the middle of my backyard so that way I can get started at 9:30. And yeah, and so the RA, and I got to look at my camera, all this other fun stuff. So yeah, because I realized because then I got plugged in the because I'm getting everything. I'm thinking everything is all good with the camera until I plugged it in, and
so much for that, right? Yeah, well, and again, that's one of the good things regarding personal property insurance, where
yes, we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
So if I would strongly recommend to anybody, if you are in this hobby and you've spent thousands of dollars on this equipment, you've already spent, and if you've only spent $250 on Pix Insight, $120 a year for a personal property insurance policy is nothing compared to that.
Yep.
And so gather up all your receipts, contact your insurance agent, and get your stuff insured, because I just set up my policy. Telling everybody, I set up my policy like a month or two ago.
Yep.
I've been in this, and I've been doing this for 5 years. And
Nine times.
I just did this, earlier this year. Something just told me I get off my butt and do it.
And something that we were talking about offline was
it's crazy.
Just check with your insurance company on what it covers, if there's a deductible, if it covers travel, all that kind of stuff. So make sure that you do that kind of stuff, because you don't want to do like what I did and travel to 2/3 away across the country, and then a storm comes by and blows away your $20,000 setup. And you're definitely going to want to make sure that happens. So I mean, you're gonna have to check your own insurers, Gideon.
I don't know necessarily anybody to avoid, because this is my first experience even dealing with something like this. And usually these personal property insurance policies, at least the one I have, they're more common for like your jewelry and stuff like that. The things you don't necessarily have covered maybe under your homeowner's insurance and stuff like that. So
I can tell you which one to stay away from. Lloyd's of London. They will charge you up the butt. So
yes,
stay away from them. They will charge you $500,000 to insure a $200 camera. So
how much do they charge? What did they insure J-Lo's butt for?
Yeah. I'm telling you. But
oh God, I don't know.
I would just tell you, do everybody what. We are not going to say, one insurer is better than another, because we are not insurance experts. We're just saying, get your stuff insured so you don't have a problem like Eric had. And if you do have a problem, then you'll be covered and you won't be out. Hopefully they won't, deny the claim or whatever, but it's good. It's going to be fun. It's going to be better off with it than without. You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So
yeah, Charity, like literally like a month of coverage, and then this happened. So talk about some sort of foresight, somebody looking out for me and giving me the good quick kick in the butt to say, hey, do this thing,
Yeah, I can only imagine what you'd be feeling like right now if you did not, especially knowing that, like having thought that and been like, I need to. Yeah, no, I definitely need to. I think Monday morning I'm gonna do
I need to add my AP scope on there. I haven't done that yet. So
and I took all this time. I took like hours going back and gathering, from High Point and OPT and Gina and all these other sites where I bought all this stuff and downloading the receipts again, receipts and coding onto them. Because I kept saying I was going to do this like last year, but I just kept putting it off. And then something just told me, do it.
Yeah. You get some storms up there. Oh my gosh. So when we were driving, when we were coming up around that area, I don't know if you got the picture. We had problem after problem on our little road trip. But so we didn't, I don't know. It was probably like 9:30, 10 o'clock when we were driving through Chicago, but we had just missed some storms that came through there. I'm telling you, they nail you guys. I mean,
they were nasty storms not too long ago.
I remember the next morning, my husband was asking, he's like, were you anywhere near those tornadoes? And like, well, so we saw the tornado watch in effect on the interstate, like seeing the signs, which I'd never seen that before. But yeah, I mean, just looking at the clouds, I'm like, man, that is some ominous looking stuff. And I'm like going, how on earth does Eric get all the clear nights he gets? Yeah,
it was crazy. It's crazy.
He's north of the storms, so
yeah, and it's just crazy because because we talked about this like a few months ago. There was a tornado that blew through actually where I live.
Yeah, you had to run. You had to jump off the show.
Yeah, to jump off the shows. It's just weird. It's just
and let me tell you something. Every time I drive, there's no place. If I drive east, I go to Montauk. It's like 2 hours. But every time I drive out of the state, if I go through Ohio, I don't care what day it is I get there. I don't care. I am running through a torrential rainstorm every single time I drive through Ohio. I wish I could just skip Ohio. Just skip Ohio, because I'd be like sunny, then Ohio, then sunny again once I exit Ohio. It's like the worst every time I go through there. When I went to Lima for the observatory, the Schoonover Observatory, the guys that we gave the eyepieces to.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If I showed you the video of that, I mean, it was like you could not see rain. They were just dumping buckets of water on us. It was just like, it was crazy. And same thing going to Nebraska too. And it better not happen when I go to Chicago again. I'm telling you, it's going to drive me nuts. What, you're going to Oahu? No, Ohio. All right. So it's 8:30, 8:40, 8:40.
Oh my gracious, surely it is.
Who wants to go first?
I'm going to get done.
Okay, you're in for it.
I want to get this done.
You're up.
All right, so here we go.
What's that?
No, I was just going to introduce you, and that's all.
No, it felt like work. I started doing this. I'm like, man, I haven't done a PowerPoint. We use like Google Slides and stuff in the classroom. I should have just jumped over to Google Slides, but I ended up doing a PowerPoint. So all right. So screen share.
Yeah.
And I have not done this on here.
And I
wish, I'll be honest with you, Dan, I wish I had done Andromeda. I mean, there was this little voice in the back of my head when I started doing this, going, man, why did I do Andromeda? Okay. One second. Okay. Oh crap. Go away. And my sharing. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Pegasus. Okay. All right. So
that's a nice picture.
I wish thank you, interwebs. Thank you. I'll tell you,
was Pegasus a unicorn?
No, but it was a pretty picture. So
it was a pretty picture.
It's a pretty picture. Don't bragging on my pretty picture.
I just said it was a nice picture.
Hanging up on the mountaintop there, though. Look at him.
I saw that. I'm like, that looks very, and I actually went back and forth for a few. I'm like, nah, I need a good one, and I kind of looked. I was like, you know what? I don't know. Pegasus could have a horn. Why not? Pegasus.
Look at all the vapor coming off of Pegasus. He's smoking a big old splint.
Well, that's what the horn is, So, all right. So Pegasus is the winged horse, and It was first cataloged by Ptolemy in the 2nd century. So it was one of the original, one of the older constellations. And it is the 7th largest constellation in the night sky. I did see when I was looking into it that it did say this. One of the websites I looked at said the 6th. I'm going to go with the 7th, but I don't know. It's one of those that just really dominates the sky. It's not been one of my personal favorites, just because it takes up so much of the sky. It's so big, and I'm so limited in my space. So when I see Pegasus come up, it's like, here we go again. But it is one of those big northern sky constellations. In mythology, Pegasus was the son of Poseidon and Medusa, and Pegasus was sprung from the neck of the Gorgon Medusa when Perseus separated her head from her neck. So that is there's more to the mythology, but I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Let's get down to the stuff in Pegasus. So Pegasus, is going to start appearing on the horizon late summer. It's starting to pop up around 11, 12 o'clock. I'm starting to see it on the eastern horizon. And as we get into fall, it really just dominates that night sky. And again, for me, being so tree-locked as I am, when I look up in September, early October, that's pretty much all I see. I see Pegasus and Andromeda. And I've really not given Pegasus a lot of love. I tend to go with, looking at, this screenshot I took of Stellarium, I end up going with Andromeda Galaxy, Triangulum, and there's just so much around Pegasus that especially that square of Pegasus, just kind of gets ignored a little bit. So, let's take a look. Let me go back. Okay, so if you are a fan of faint fuzzies, Pegasus is the constellation for you. So this is something that I found today. Again, I've not given Pegasus a lot of love. And I think maybe this is why I just don't really have, my highest focal length is 952. And looking at some of these galaxy groups, they seem to, do much better with these higher magnifications. So this particular image here, I did find on Astrobin, and it has the Deerlick group and has Stephan's quintet in it. And this is taken with a 5.5 inch. So it's, some very faint fuzzies in here. So, okay. So Stephan's quintet, I don't think I really had given that much thought at all. And when I was going, looking for different targets today, I remembered where I had first seen this one. And this is one, the Stephan's quintet, not this particular image, but this particular target was one that James Webb, one of the first ones that James Webb published last summer. And I think that's, that's when it kind of got on my radar. So according to the Constellation Guide, it's just a group of 4 interacting galaxies. So there's, 4 NGC. There are 5 NGC targets in here. We've got the 7317, 7318A and B, 7319, and then it does have a visual companion, which is NGC 7320. And this image was taken on a 10-inch RC. So again, something I don't know what the focal length for that is, but I know it's a lot more than what I have. So if you're one of those folks out there that just has, the big aperture and is looking for something to image, this would be a great target for you. So, okay. So, the NGC 7331 and the Deerlick group. I remember trying to image this one maybe last summer or the summer before, and it was just so far out of my range, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful grouping of galaxies. I do not have the data on what was used to image this. But it's just an absolutely beautiful, non-barred, not a bar to be found, non-barred spiral galaxy. So if I end up getting myself something a little bigger, this is definitely going to be on my target hit list. Okay, so a couple of Hickson targets, which are some galaxy groups. We have Hickson 93 in the left corner and 94 on the bottom. And again, both of these are just beautiful galaxy groups. I mean, I'm personally a fan of galaxies, so when I do, up my game, I'm going to be going for a lot more magnification because I want to get some of these groups. It just amazes me to be able to look at an image that has not just one or two, but many galaxies far, far away, all on my screen. So, all right. So, aside from this faint fuzzies, there is at least one target that I actually did shoot, and I forgot when I actually went to Astro, been looking for it, and sure enough, my own image popped up. I'm like, well, look at that. So I do apologize. It's from like 4 years ago, but it does have one Messier object. It's M15, which is a globular cluster. That's in the bottom right. I did take that with my 70mm quad. So, there's at least one target for the lower focal length. And then on the top left is NGC 7742, which was taken with an edge 11-inch. And that is just an absolutely amazing looking galaxy over there. So, and then lest they think that sharpless has not been represented in Pegasus, there's at least one sharpless target in the constellation of Pegasus. And this is a Hydrogen Alpha region, but according to their catalog, they said that this object does not pick up anything with narrowband filters, including the Hydrogen Alpha, that you get the reflection off of Markab. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So if you have a wide enough field of view, just to kind of include that star in your image, but it does work best with a clear filter. So that is my target roundup for Pegasus. Gentlemen, if you have any suggestions for anything that I may have missed, please, by all means, jump in. Am I done sharing?
Great work.
You just got to click it on and off again.
I just got to click toggle.
There you go.
There you go.
There I am. There I am. Okay. So, so I found a couple little things I really just didn't know because, and say, looking into it, going, well, that's probably why I've not really given a lot of attention to Pegasus, because so many of the targets are just out of the range of the equipment that I have right now. But there are some spectacular galaxy groups in Pegasus that I just was not aware of. So now I know.
Yeah, that deer lick is definitely on my eyes, because that 7331 is so big, and then all the other surrounding galaxies in that group is pretty cool. So
yeah, and I think I remember, I want to say a couple of years ago, I think I tried that just because it just takes up so much sky, and they're from like, I want to say like mid-September-ish to like October-ish until Andromeda kind of clears the trees. I don't have anything but Pegasus. And, I don't know why I have an image, M15 more than I had than the one that I did. I think I just, probably just getting busy, getting back to work. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll get back to it here in a little bit. But, I feel like I did try the deer lick group and it just didn't work. I think it was just too tiny and just, too faint for what I was trying to do.
What size scope was that?
It probably was with my 70mm. That's what I'm thinking.
You probably need close to double that. You're like a 130, something like that.
Yeah.
You'd be good.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the 127, so I might try and hit it up again. Now
that'll work.
Now I think the 127 might do it. No.
Yeah, because that 127's got a long focal length. That's like my 130. Yeah, my 130 is only 860. So,
okay.
Your 127 is 952. So
yeah. So that might do it. That might do it, because I think, like I said, I'll look at it when I started getting this presentation together. I pulled up Stellarium, I pulled up Pegasus. I'm like, oh Lord, what have I done? Looking at this big square with and I'm like scrolling in and scrolling in, scrolling like, oh, here we go. Now we got some stuff going on. Okay.
That's funny. Yeah, Pegasus is an interesting character in mythology. I know we hit on it. What was it? It was like probably last week or the week before. We were talking about how Pegasus was born and where Pegasus fits in to the Clash of the Titans motif is what we're going for. And the funny thing is that in the Clash of the Titans motif, there is no Pegasus. The story of Pegasus, Perseus is not flying in with Pegasus on, him on the back of Pegasus and killing Cetus. No, it's not.
Like Balaffer, some with a B.
What's up?
Who was it that rode Pegasus? Let's say I didn't go a lot into the mythology because I actually spent a lot more time researching the targets than I thought I was going to need to. But starts with a B. But
I don't remember.
I don't remember. That tried to ride Pegasus to Olympus and didn't. I don't remember.
No. That was Icarus. That was Icarus. He flew too close to the sun, and his son. Remember Icarus? And what was the son's
I remember
name?
that one, but
Daedalus.
Daedalus
and Icarus. Those are the two brothers.
But here's my question.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say.
Oh, guys, you're killing me. Go ahead, Pete. Go.
You probably have worded better to say than I do.
Now we're not going to say anything. Pete, go.
Okay, so Pegasus is the offspring of Medusa and Poseidon, right? Okay, Poseidon is the king of the ocean. Medusa is the Gorgon with the snakes coming out of the hair.
Yep.
I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So that's the first question, right? So wait a minute. How is it then that the offspring wasn't born until Perseus cut off her head? I mean, I don't get that connection.
Yeah, we were talking about that the last show too. It's like, the Greeks loved giving birth to people from exploding heads. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if the movie Scanners was written by a Greek. So I mean, it's like one of these things that I don't know. These Greek tragedies, who is it? Andromeda or whatever, from the head of whoever exploded out of his head, the birth of Andromeda, I think it was, or what it was Andromeda, right? That was born. Yeah, with the exploding head. And then the funny thing is, and and there's a black sheep in the family, so nobody really knows that Pegasus had a brother. Chrysosaur was his brother, and what happened when Perseus comes, chops off Medusa's head. Here comes Pegasus and Chrysosaur, and they say, "See ya," and they take off. They're out of here. Perseus left holding the bag with Medusa's head in it.
Quite literally.
And
what does he do?
Poseidon would have been pretty pissed off, right?
What's that?
You would have thought Poseidon would have been pissed off, right? Because you just cut off the head of my lover or whatever.
Yeah, no, he didn't care. She was a one-night stand, so that's all. That's all that was. He couldn't deal with the hair, but so
too much drama.
Too much drama. He couldn't get any sleep when she was sleeping. The serpents were hissing.
I mean, but think about it, right? Would Poseidon couldn't have looked at her because he would have turned to stone, right? So how did they end up kind of getting together to make Pegasus?
Well, that explains why she had to have her head cut off to give birth. So I mean, so nobody could look at her. Maybe she was a butterface.
No,
she was a butterface.
No, here's the thing though. But see, here's the thing though, because in the Greek mythology and on the Greek myths, Medusa was the high priestess of Athena at the Parthenon. At the Parthenon, she was seduced by Poseidon, and then when she got impregnated by Poseidon during that time, when she got turned into the Gorgon, and then Athena turned her into the Gorgon, and but she never gave birth. So she was still pregnant with him as a Gorgon, and then when Perseus came, cut off her head, boom, there's the baby, pops out.
So
it's like what is that phrase? Chop off the head and the baby pops out.
No, that was the flower thing. Pop. You know.
So hold it. Go back to what you just said, Eric. Athena, where does Athena fit into this with the Gorgon and Poseidon? Right. Was she jealous?
Medusa, yes, Medusa. Yeah. When Medusa was a beautiful,
yes, she was. She got cursed
of Athena. She was the high priestess of the temple of Athena. But Poseidon wanted her, seduced her, impregnated her. Athena got pissed
and cursed her,
and basically cursed Medusa with the ugliness and the power to turn people to stone by her ugliness and all that stuff. But then when Perseus came and cut her head off, she was already impregnated with Pegasus by Poseidon. As soon as the blood flows out, pop, there goes Pegasus.
Mama had a baby and her head popped off.
So Poseidon's got the tail of a mermaid, right?
And I gotta say, I stand corrected. I know Josh called me out in the chat. So yes, you're right. I actually looked it up. They weren't brothers. They were father and son, Daedalus and Icarus. Sorry.
Yeah, Daedalus and Icarus were father and son.
Sorry,
my fault. Yeah, because Daedalus was the inventor who created the
wings.
Who created the labyrinth.
And the one I was trying to come up with, guys, was Bellerophon. And I'm looking at it right now.
Yes, Bellerophon. He's the one who captured
Pegasus. He tamed Pegasus. Let's see, Bellerophon was known for capturing and taming Pegasus with the help of Athena's charm bridle and earning the disfavor of the gods. Imagine that. After succumbing to hubris and attempting to ride Pegasus to Mount Olympus to join the ranks of the gods.
Yeah.
So there, okay, that I it was like the B, and that wasn't quite. So that's what I was trying to, and that is about as much as I remembered.
Oh no, then we're getting your mama's so ugly jokes.
Your mama's so ugly. She turned to Medusa. She turned Medusa into spells.
Oh my God! We officially
we're gonna have your mama jokes now. Yeah.
Okay, we're going off the rails, babies. Going off the rails.
Hit it.
Your mama is so fat. But anyway, all right. So that I like talking about this stuff, because I mean, it's.
So Dan, are you saying Medusa's only got a face a mother could love?
That's pretty much.
Oh yeah, she could love her. She just can't look at her.
Yeah. I love this stuff because that's how. Greek mythology and astronomy and the constellations, this is how I fell in love with the stars, and astronomy was by the Greek myths and stuff, like in the stories. So it was all that correlation of that got me really interested in all this stuff.
And then I think it's funny that, a couple centuries later, the Romans try to steal everything from the Greeks. So they start changing things to like Zeus to Jupiter kind of stuff.
Yes.
So
Jews, they changed it all. So Caesar wanted it this way.
Which one?
Exactly.
All right, so that was our first entry into the walkthrough of the constellations with Pegasus. Jesse, awesome job, nice pictures.
Great job.
Everybody,
great job.
Yeah, everybody's saying great. They're still saying
like my
your mama house is so small she has to go outside to eat a large pizza. Oh my!
Love
it. Your mama's so dumb. I told her it was chilly outside. She went out and grabbed a bowl.
That's a good one.
Oh my! All right. So next up we have, I guess, Eric with Cetus.
Cetus.
And
Cetus.
Yeah.
So let me.
Your mama is so fat, she has her own zip code.
Oh my gosh! All right, let me screen share.
Oh, hold on a second here. Here we go. All right, there you go. And there's the off the rails. There you go.
There's the off the rails.
All right.
Can you guys see my
Cetus
screen?
the whale. And
all right, Cetus the whale. Really, the whale.
So you know what the funny thing is that whale looks like the whale. For some of you crazy people out there might know it. That looks like the whale from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that was falling into space.
The sperm whale. Space. Yeah.
The sperm whales falling with the petunias.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, Eric. My bad.
All right. So Cetus, the whale constellation. All right. So we'll talk the scientific stuff first. So about Cetus, the constellation. It is the fourth largest and one of the original 48 constellations listed by Ptolemy that was listed by Ptolemy in the 2nd century. So it is the fourth largest constellation in the night sky. And it is one of 15 equatorial constellations, meaning that it intersects the celestial equator. And so here in the northern hemisphere, you can, if you're low enough in the northern hemisphere, you'll be able to see Cetus in the fall and early winter season. In the southern hemisphere, it is actually most prominent during the months of January and February. And as we've been talking about, it is a member of the Perseus constellation family. Where it is in the sky is actually in an area that they call the water, which includes Pisces, Aquarius, and Eridanus. It has 15 stars that make up the constellation, and its brightest star, Diptha Beta Ceti, is a magnitude 2.04. So the mythology we've been talking about. So the Greek myth of Cetus is that Cetus is a sea monster that was sent to destroy the city of Ethiopia as punishment to King Cepheus and Queen Cassiopeia for her vanity and arrogance, for saying she and her daughter Andromeda were more beautiful than the Nereids, which are the sea nymphs. To save their city, the king and the queen were told to sacrifice the princess to appease the anger of Poseidon and the sea nymphs. So Andromeda was chained to a rock to await her fate, but was saved by the hero Perseus, who beheaded the Gorgon Medusa and shoved the head to the monster, turning it to stone and rescuing the princess. So about the constellation, very interesting stuff, kind of like how you were talking, Jesse. Break out the long focal length. Grab your Schmitts and your Ricci's and your CDKs and all that stuff. You ain't going wide on this sucker, because there are no catalog, or at least as far as I could have found, and I looked all over the place, there are no catalog wide field nebulae, nebulosity, anything like that. It is pretty much all galaxies in Cetus, with the exception of one planetary nebula that was cataloged. So as far as a Messier object, we have Barnard 77, also known as Cetus A or Cetus Alpha. NGC 1073, which is down here at the bottom right corner of Barred Spiral Galaxy itself. The only known planetary that I could find was a planetary nebula, which is called the Skull Nebula, NGC 246. NGC 247 is an intermediate spiral galaxy, which is at the top right here, which is this image I grabbed from AstroBend, and this was imaged by Warren Keller. And NGC 17 is a lenticular galaxy right here below, and this was captured by the Hubble program and the Hubble telescope at NASA. And it's basically, from what I understand, this is actually the result of two galaxies actually colliding with one another. So this is why it looks this way right now, is because of two former galaxies merging into one. So this is what we have as far as some of the pretty known targets for Cetus. But like I said, so in my spirit of Clash of the Titans and all that other fun stuff, release the Kraken.
You did it.
So, I did
it. This embodies everything that's wrong with whoever drew this thing, because it has nothing to do with the story.
Absolutely nothing.
And it's all it's all Clash of the Titans' fault. It's all Clash of the Titans' fault.
That's it. It's all Clash's fault. So it's all good. So that's me. So you are.
That's it?
And that's it.
Oh my goodness. That was like 4 minutes flat.
That was nothing. Absolutely. That was nothing.
Oh my.
Yeah. So, but it was a very interesting to research that and to find out that there are no nebulas other than the Skull Nebula cataloged in that entire constellation. It is all galaxies.
Wow.
So, which was very, very cool.
And like you said before, Cetus is a really dim constellation. It's it's large. It's got a lot of cool tiny stuff in it. But that if you're looking to get your gear 60 or your gear 80 or your Esprit, anything under 100 millimeters, forget about it. Nah. It might be good to kind of just sit there and shoot some long wide field stuff just because you can, but there's other cooler wide field areas to take pictures of than the middle of Cetus. So
right. Exactly. But learning
variable.
What was that, Pete?
The only real name recognition target in that thing is Mira, which is just a variable star. That's really the only thing.
Yep, exactly. And so it was very, very cool to learn about, and spend some time. I do enjoy us doing these presentations on the constellations. Gives us a little bit of education or edumacation, or what you want to call it. So, it's a lot of fun. But I'm pretty much Clash of the Titan. I'm pretty much COT'd out.
Do we have any more? I don't think we have any more.
We got Perseus. You got to do Perseus.
Well, besides that, I don't think there's anything left.
I think that's it. I think we've covered them all. I think now we've covered them all.
Well, and I guess I got to do Andromeda now.
Oh, did we do Andromeda?
Well, everybody knows Andromeda.
Everybody knows Andromeda. I mean, I feel like,
everybody knows Andromeda.
Some cute girl stuck to a rock.
Too much. Help me, please. Help me, please.
Sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think that's it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we do the water dwellers after that. Why not?
There's only a few water dwellers.
So in other words, the sins of the mother shouldn't bother the daughter.
Apparently, they did in this case.
They did.
But you get for being arrogant and stupid. You don't want to piss off a god. Come on, man. What's wrong with you people? They knew they were gods. I mean, come on. How dumb can you be? They know they're in the damn temple when they said this. Nobody is more beautiful than anything. And then here comes Hera. Bam. Nope. Take your daughter and chain her to a rock because my husband's pet is going to come eat her. That's exactly what happened.
In the movie.
Yeah. The fake movie that made a lot of money.
Yeah, but which one? Part 1 or part 2 movie?
No, just the part 2 movie. The Liam Neeson one was horrible. That was so bad.
Oh, you're talking about the first one then. Okay.
No, the first one's Harry Hamlin and Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, and it was Ray Harryhausen doing all the special effects.
Yep. And they weren't that good. Absolutely. You'll see in a little bit how bad they were.
I mean, think about that stop action. What he had to go through. I mean, the time involved in doing that stop action.
And the Kraken, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Kraken was pretty much claymation type stuff, if I remember right.
It was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Kraken doesn't have anything to do with Greek anything. You know that, right?
No.
Yep.
It's North mythology. It's Dane. It's Scandinavian. It originates from, I believe, either Norse or Danish, doesn't it?
Kraken?
It's the term the Kraken. If you look it up, I believe it is Norse mythology or
really, because I did some research on it when I was doing something, and it told me the first sighting of the word Kraken, at least in North America, was in like 1710 in an article somewhere.
Really?
I mean, it could be somewhere else in the world.
It could be. It could be. It could be.
You could be right. But I
could
don't know.
Be wrong. I could be right. I could be wrong. But as far as I know,
you may be wrong, but you may be right.
The Kraken is some really good rum.
Yeah. It could be Norse. It definitely could be. But either way, the Kraken is related to a sea monster. Either way,
squid.
It's a squid.
Big squid.
It's a squid. It's a big squid. It didn't have 4 arms. It was a big squid.
So it's a cephalopod. It's not a mammal, then. It's a cephalopod.
It was a big squid. That's what it was. Yep.
Yeah. So
Norse folklore. Everyone's saying Norse.
Yeah.
So
Scandinavian, Norwegian. Yeah. So yeah.
I was never a big fan of Norse folklore for whatever reason.
I kind of like that too. I like all the myth stuff. Like
I like it too. Because being a D&D guy, you kind of have to be. You know what I mean? But like I got the deities and demigods Dungeons and Dragons book, and it tells you everybody, Indian or Norse, Egyptian, all of them are in there, and I don't remember Kraken in there, but I could be wrong.
I
think Odin was Odin Norse god? Was Odin?
Yeah.
Odin was a brother of Thor.
Yeah, Odin and Thor. Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the only 2 cool ones that I know. And I think Balder was a Norse god too, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I think so.
He
was. I don't know. Yeah. But I digress.
Yeah, they're all good. Anyway.
I digress into my Dungeons and Dragons days.
You got a presentation, don't you?
Yeah, I'm stalling for time right now. So yeah, no problem. And we could get, let's see. So Perseus, let's see if I could do this and restart. All right, and let me get it over here because I'm doing 4 things at once. So if there's a couple of screw ups here, you're gonna have to excuse me a little bit. I guess it goes with the territory. So all right, here we go. So Perseus, right? And let me get rid of this guy. So Perseus, all right. Slay that Gorgon, right? There you go. So you see Medusa's head. He's hanging out there again with the sword, and as you could see, he's not on Pegasus. He's running after him and slashing. And one of the reasons why he's pictured with a sword and Medusa's head. Yes, he was given a sword by the gods. Yes. However, there are 2 stories, and nobody's kind of sure in Greek mythology which is true, because Cetus was either killed in 2 different ways. 1, he was stabbed by the sword, or 2, he was killed by the eyes of Medusa when he drags her out of the bag. And if you know a little bit about the story, remember the blood of Medusa was very acidic, right?
Yep.
So as he was traveling across, he kind of bumped into Jason and the Argonauts, and he killed a lot of people with the blood as he's going across the country.
Whoopsie.
So yeah, big whoopsie. So what was that? Was that Mortal Kombat?
Whoopsie.
All right, so Perseus. So again, another northern sky constellation, right? And I won't get into it again, but it is one of the original 48 2nd century Ptolemy groupings of the 48. And I know I hit into this when I did this slide last time, but the 48, and I know somebody's going to call it out with them, watch the show already, But the 40, why is that? He's from, you know, Northern Sky. Why did he have 48 original constellations? Come on, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. I think so.
Because he couldn't get to 50.
Well, no, he got 48 because he lived in a southern region. So he lived a lot further south than we do in mid-northern latitude. So he was able to get more constellations. So his original, So the brightest star is Mirfak, which you can see right here. He was the son of what was it? Zeus and Danae. And you know, we know about Clash of Titans, so you know,
it's flying straight for us.
Is it a hawk? Bobo the owl. Is it a hawk? Is he going to attack? Oh my God! You know, so you know, that's how bad the graphics were. So my first pick for Perseus is the obvious one. The double cluster in Perseus. This photo is courtesy of Jenison from AstroBin. It's NGC 869 and 884. It was also discovered by Hipparchus in 130 BC. He actually did it as, he said it was two fuzzy patches. He really couldn't kind of resolve. And the double cluster actually represents the handle of Perseus's sword. The interesting about this is that these two clusters are blue shifting. Does anyone know what blue shifting is?
Yeah, they're coming towards us.
They're coming towards us. Yeah. So they're coming to, as opposed to red shifting of things going away from us, right? So I won't go into the Perseus history because we kind of did that already. But NGC 869, just 869, I think that's the one on the top, if I remember right. It has a mass of 4,700 solar masses. Okay, and 884 is 3,700 solar masses, right? So just to give you an example of what a solar, what's that?
That's a lot of stars.
It's a lot of stars, right? So just to give you an example, so solar mass is equal to approximately 2 times 10 to the 30th kilograms. So 2 kilograms with 30 zeros on it. I think it's a non-trillion, I think, if I remember right. But they're moving closer to the Earth at a speed of 39 kilometers per second on average. So it's kind of interesting how these things are coming. And there's like Eric said, that's a lot of stars, right? So there are more than 300 young blue-white supergiant stars in each of the clusters. So now you could realize how much mass this entails. It's kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
And this is going on without me. So number 2 is the fossil footprint. So the fossil footprint is approximately I couldn't find a real answer. It went from 92 to 99 or 10,000 light years away. So I just picked a number in the middle. This photo is taken by Chuck Ayub. It's an emission nebula. And okay, I must have we'll just do this. How about this? We'll do that and we'll do that. There we go. So 10,000, so 9,800 to 10,700 light years away. Pretty cool nebula there. And Jesse's pick of the California Nebula. This is an emission nebula. Okay. So what an emission nebula is, basically an emission nebula is a nebula formed by ionized gases. And how the gases get ionized, basically they receive a charge, right? And through that charge, they lose or gain an electron. Okay, it's usually from an external source such as ultraviolet light. And so because they're being charged, it emits a light. And that's why it's called an emission nebula. So basically, it's in an area of dust in a cloud of space that is lit up by that light source. Just by coincidence, actually, the California Nebula actually transits at its zenith in Central California, believe it or not. So as because the latitude actually matches the declination of the California Nebula. So pretty cool. And that information was obtained by universeguide.com. Check that out. That's a pretty cool site if you've never been there. Universe Guide. Number 4, Abell 426, the Perseus cluster. This is actually a pretty cool cluster. It's receding. Again, remember we spoke red shifting and blue shifting, right? It's red shifting at almost 5.4 kilometers per second. And the whole cluster has a diameter of 863 minutes. Unbelievably large. You want a wide field. You need wide field and magnification to get this out. This is going to be a lot of stuff and clustered. It reminds me a little bit of Markarian's chain. Obviously, it looks a little different. But this photo was taken, I'm going to butcher the name, by David Schifferich. And it was one of the first clusters with a galaxy that was known to emit an X-ray. Unbelievable. So this contains thousands of galaxies. If you could get some other pictures on AstroBin, I mean, I was able to pick about 25 galaxies just out of this picture alone, just a quick glance. But the detection of the X-ray emission was from one of these galaxies in Perseus. It's called Perseus XR1. It occurred in 1970. They actually threw a V2 rocket up there, right? And it was called the Aerobee project. And this V2 rocket was a sounding machinery. It was trying to find vibrations in the sky. And what it was pointed in the Perseus area, and it found X-rays coming from that area. Later on, they sent more up and found out that it actually is coming from, that it might be associated with the largest and brightest galaxy up there called NGC 1275. So pretty cool. I thought that was pretty interesting. That's why I like doing this stuff, because the science behind it is pretty cool. Number 5, image by Adam Block and Mount Lemmon Observatory at 2100 light years away. We have NGC 1579, the northern Trifid, as opposed to the regular Trifid. It's
that's pretty.
Yeah. So
sorry, I couldn't help myself. That's pretty.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So I think it's funny when people say diffuse nebula, because I did some research. I said, well, I know emission, I know planetary, I know dark, I know all these nebulas, but what the hell is a diffuse? Aren't all nebulas diffuse in one way or another? Diffuse nebulas really, by title, by name, by definition, is literally a nebula with no discernible shape. That's what the definition is. So let me know if I'm wrong about this, everybody in the peanut gallery out there. But my interpretation of this is that if a nebula has more than one of the top 3 classifications of nebulas, so let's say if it's got some dark and it's got some emission or reflection in there, then they just dump it into diffuse, because like the ugly brother that you just don't know what to call it. It's got all these different properties, so we're going to throw it into diffuse nebula. What do you guys think?
Well, basically, emission nebulas are where the ultraviolet radiation is stripping the electrons from the hydrogen. It's exciting the hydrogen proton, and then that excites it at that nanometer wavelength. So that's what differentiates between emission and reflection.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. I mean, it's just basically an amorphous shape. There's no, but as I said, as humans, we always have to kind of give it a characteristic that we're familiar with. But
Yeah,
this one just kind of looks like the little Trifid.
Yeah, and if you look at it, if you look at the picture closely, and if you take a look at 1579, right? It's got properties of almost every type of nebula in there. It's got some dark nebula in it. It's got reflection nebula. And believe it or not, if you look in 1579, there is some emission properties in 1579 as well.
Yeah. And I bet you 10 to 1, you look at that cold molecular cloud right there, you know that if you had an IR or NIR, you could definitely see protostars starting to form within that dark nebula.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, this is a great target. It's just nobody really shoots it, but this is a great little target because look at the stars, look at the color.
And it almost made my overlooked image until I found something else, because it's not as color as this, but I kind of thought it was pretty interesting. So we got to the overlooked object. And here it is. This is IC 348. It's called the Perseus cloud. It's 1,000 light years away. It's very similar to, let's say, M78 and M42, where you got that stellar nursery with that blue haze and kind of stuff. I thought the nebulosity in here, and if you look, I don't know if it comes out on YouTube. If you look down at the bottom, if north is if up is north, south part of there's a lot of nebulosity down here. It kind of looks like a comet when you put it out there, and it's kind of cool. So it's a nice little stellar nursery. It's on off the beaten path outside of the main Perseus constellation, but I thought it was pretty cool. So that made the overlook pick selection for this one for me. And then thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Very nicely done, my friend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Josh is wondering, how big is a northern Trifid, sky-wise? You know, how big is it?
I will show you. And let me get to the northern Trifid real quick. I got my stellarium up. Northern Trifid, and let me get to a time that it's up. There we go. Okay, so
Telescopia says it's 3 arc minutes.
That's what I got. Yep. And if you take a look, there's the Trifid Nebula. And there you go. Okay. It's pretty small.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Yeah, 3 arc minutes. Yep.
It's just a baby.
It's a little baby, but it's cool. It's got a nice little picture there. Nice.
Yeah, that's very cool.
There we go.
No, nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's got a lot going on around it. It is just a little baby, but let me tell you, if you got a little bit of a focal length, you're able to kind of pull out that detail. It's not as if you take a look at it, let's see. I'm just curious. Let me go back to my stellarium real quick and just to give you by comparison. Is it just looking for the time. There we go. I didn't do M81. What are you doing? This is acting funny.
right. So we got. I want to take a look here at the content.
That's the Trifid. So just to give you an example, the Trifid is where is it?
Thank you all. We love to image. We love to educate.
Yeah, so the Trifid by example is about 20 minutes as opposed to 3 minutes on the Northern Trifid. So
the M20 is how large?
20 minutes.
Okay, 20 are okay.
20 minutes. So it's probably just about. It's a little smaller than I guess the blue part of the Trifid, and that's a guess. You know, I could do the angular measurement of it, but I mean, you know, that's pretty much what it is.
Yes.
Azimuth grid, cardinal points, planet.
So while Dan's doing that, just to give everybody a heads up, and I know there's been some confusion and things like that, and I'll apologize if there's been some missteps here as far as the image of the week, because we only had one entry in this past week. I am actually going to move that entry and add that to next week's contest. So
fair enough.
And not, so entries, the entry section will be open. The link will launch every Saturday at 8:00 Eastern or 8:01 Eastern in the morning, and it closes at 5:59 p.m. Tuesday Eastern. Okay. So that's how it runs. From entries are from Saturday until Tuesday. Then that'll give me time Tuesday night to get everything up for Wednesday's vote. And then we vote from Wednesday morning until 9:30 on Friday.
Exactly.
Friday night show.
Yeah, let me show you this real quick. So I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but if you see up here, right, I kind of did a angular measurement of the blue part of the Trifid.
Yeah.
So that's 9 minutes, the blue part. Oh, wow. So it's 1/3 the size of the blue part of so basically we're talking about that big.
Wow.
That's about 3 minutes.
I never knew you can do that. Can you show how you do that measurement?
Oh yeah, If you click this button right down here,
we're blocked by the scroller.
Let me turn it off. There we go. Okay, and this one that looks like a sideways A, it's angle measure. It's a toggle button, so you turn it on, turn it off. So turn it on. So let's say if I want to kind of guesstimate the Lagoon Nebula right here.
Yep.
So now I just click and drag. And now it says 1 degree, 2 minutes.
There you go. That is very cool. So for those who, again, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, so that's a cool little thing. You kind of go across and whatever, you can find out how far things are away from each other. So like, if you want to know how far away the Trifid is from the lagoon, well, there you go. It's about 1 degree separated.
There you go. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I have my moments. My little pearls of wisdom.
There he is. There it is. Another pearl of wisdom. Love it.
There you go. So let's get back to,
All right.
Cool. All right, so we did Pegasus, we did Cetus, or the Kraken, and Perseus.
The Perseus. So
next week, next Friday. Heracles.
I'm joking.
We are moving. So
yep. Beef turkey time. Happy New Year.
But she's wearing lederhosen.
Yeah, had to help me with my hook.
Oh my goodness.
Trading places. Anyway, let's get back on topic. Let's have some, So
$1.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, God, I haven't seen that in forever.
It's one of my that is probably arguably my favorite Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a great.
That was a good one.
Yeah, so totally off the rails.
Totally. That's okay. So moving on. What do we want to do for next week? As far as constellations.
One of you guys already did Cygnus, didn't you?
Yes, we've done Cygnus. We've done Cygnus. We've done Cepheus. We've done Cassiopeia.
We could do like the summer triangle, but Cygnus
so yeah.
Done.
Well, nobody's done Lyra in the triangle.
We have not done Lyra, home of Vega. So that's a possibility.
And not Vincent Vega.
We got Aquila.
What's that?
So
Aquila, the eagle. Yeah, the other part. Yeah.
Aquila.
Altair. Sure.
Yep. So yeah, why don't we can talk a little offline before or something, and we can make a decision.
Sounds good.
Any suggestions from our viewers?
Any suggestions for what?
Yeah, if anyone has suggestions, definitely, Jesse. Yeah.
Like a constellation that y'all just absolutely want us to show, please drop it.
Yeah,
there were 6 images
somebody who
that
reads
were
the
never
chat
announced.
better than me will find it.
I still don't know what.
It's Dave. Yeah,
Dave. Tell us what week, because pretty sure we got everything.
Yes, please.
Tell us what week you're talking about, and we'll take a look into that, because I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely.
Maybe a week got missed during. Maybe. I don't think so, but
because I did have to skip one for July. It was just not a lot of entries on for 2 separate weeks, so I moved them into different weeks, into the latter week.
Tell us what picture you're looking at, and we'll find out what week it's in. And,
we'll make it. We'll figure it out so we can make it right.
Make it right. All right, so we'll talk a little bit about the next week's couple of constellations when we're ready to go.
Yeah, we'll bring them up. Yeah.
Yes.
Now let me ask a question. Have you and Jesse, do you use PixInsight?
Mm-hmm.
You do.
Yes.
And I know you do, Dan. Have either of you had an opportunity to use the GHS script?
Nope, not yet.
No, the general hyperbolic.
Yeah, hyperbolic stretch. No.
Stretch. No. And if anybody else has in the chat, let me blast it out there. I'm just curious, because it is a new thing, and it is a somewhat new script and
it's a newer script. Yeah, it's been around a little bit, but it's one of the newer ones.
Yeah. So I am going to maybe try to find some old data on mine, because I can't use because I can't get any new data.
If you don't have a mount.
I don't have a mount. I don't want to use that POS. I could.
You don't want to use You really don't want to use ZAVX?
I use it indoors, so I can set my scope up and turn it up, so I can put my sprocket flat on it.
And it looks pretty. It looks pretty. So, is it? It's a process now, GHS.
That's what I heard, and that's what I heard, is that it's actually a process, but so you can do either the script or the.
Well, I think they moved it from script to process. I don't think it's a script anymore. But you know what? My main thing right now is to take the data. I just moved all my data over to my workhorse computer from the Seahorse, the 3 hours that I actually got over 2 nights. I'm telling you, next time I go to a dark sky, I'm staying all week. I'm not I'm not doing this. We did a lot of, we wanted to see a lot of things, and it was cool. I hung out with Kent Martz over at Explore Scientific for a day and a half. I got to hang out with Pran for a little bit. I thought that was cool. And Pranavari from Kosovo. So I probably butchered your name, Pran. So if you're listening, I'm sorry. But it was really, really a cool. Obviously, meeting up with Jay, Star Lancer. You know, that was really cool. And I can't say thank you enough, Jay, if you're out there listening. I haven't seen you on the chat tonight, but, you know, thank you so much for your hospitality with your tent and all the stuff that, you know, congratulations on winning third place in the Astrophotography Challenge for Nebraska Star Party. Nice job. And of course, thank you for the best thing in the world right here is the Timex Sinclair 1000.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. We were talking about this on the show. And just so people know what I'm talking about, this is old. This is like one of the first computers from the 80s. And I'm going to say it right this time. This is not 16 meg. This is 16 kilobytes of RAM, this thing.
That's just crazy.
That kind of sticks to the back because I think this originally came with 4. So this is the expansion module. It gets you up to 24. And 24 KB of RAM in this thing. I played on this thing for hours when I was a kid, for hours, making games and playing stuff. I can't wait to load this up and see what's on here because I guarantee you my cousin Andy out there still has the games his dad wrote for this. So I want to see if I can get this thing rolling. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, we got some stuff to give away.
Yes, we do.
We got a $50 gift certificate from Woodland Hills and a 1 year to IP for AP. So why don't we do that?
Let's go for it. Now, yeah, but I'm very interested about the GHS, and I want to maybe check that out. And also, hey, maybe I should have, you know, a little thing about help Eric pick his mount. What mount will Eric choose? You know, when this whole thing, you know, ends up, you know, getting settled or whatever. God, I hope it does.
Yeah, well, you know.
So, but yeah, you know, what will Eric go for? Will he go with a strain wave, or will he go with a belt? You know, with a belt driven.
I'll give you a belt.
You know, I'll give you a belt. Yeah. Which way will Eric go? You know, because I don't know.
I think Eric's going to go strain wave. I think he's going to go strain wave.
I don't know if I want to go back to the traditional worm gear. You know, I'm dealing with backlash and stuff like that.
Get a Nick. Pete said get a Nix.
Yeah, that Nix.
Trust me, he'll get one.
Yeah, that Nix. Hey, but when is, I think the new Nix is coming in September.
It's supposed to be September.
Yeah, September, October, something like that. And that's the one with the integrated saddle, the PBB.
With the power and the USB and everything.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
So hey, listen, when I went to Nebraska, the combination of the Nix and Nina worked flawlessly. Not a problem. I think it's the first time in months where I didn't have a problem. The only thing I had a problem with, I wish I could have gotten more data. I really wish I had more time there, because the skies were really nice. I mean, the Milky Way that you saw, I saw Andromeda naked eye. I mean, you know, the Milky Way really was casting a shadow onto the ground of your body. So it was pretty cool.
Did you have any trouble with the smoke, the wildfire smoke out there?
They did before I got there, a couple days before, but it looks like that big storm that came through kind of cleared out some stuff. There was definitely some high stuff out there that was reflecting, that was making the skies a little bit brighter than than what it should have been. But I mean, it's a really nice place. Just be prepared to, to rough it if you're there. So be prepared to rough it.
Yeah, like our first 3 days we were out there, we were in Buffalo Gap National Grasslands, which is like within sight of Badlands, but it's a dispersed camping area. And it was amazing, but just, the wildfire smoke was just awful. And let's say, we were roughing it. I mean, there was no hookups, no anything. We had the RV, and my mom only brought 2 out of the 4 dogs. So that was much better, thankfully. But it was just, the smoke was just awful. Just awful. So I can only imagine what the skies would have looked like without that. And then we got up to North Dakota, and the skies were absolutely pristine, the best viewing conditions I have ever had. And I will never travel to beautiful dark skies ever again without Polemaster. That is my solemn vow. I'll just say that. So,
well, if you need one, let me know.
Yeah, I do. I mean, like, honestly, I do really well. I mean, I can polar align beautifully at home when all I can see is X amount of stars. But when they're all there up in the sky, no.
Well,
no, I had that problem.
Not for nothing. Don't you use a guide scope?
I don't use a guide. I mean, I have the polar alignment scope, but I don't have a guide. I have my guide.
You don't have a guide camera?
What's that?
You don't guide?
I guide. I guide. Yeah.
And how do you guide?
So APT does have a polar alignment routine that you can run, that you can go, and I've never used it because I've just never had to. And my camera decided to start hanging, and it was taking like 3 times as long for the images to upload. I mean, it took me a solid 25 minutes just to plate solve. It was just like, by the time I was done with it, I was ready to yeet that crap off. I was like, I am so done.
So you're not guiding now? Is that what you?
No. I am. I mean, I guide. Oh, good Lord. Oh, Lord. Yes, I always guide.
Okay.
But, I was going to try and use which I'll say I've never used it. But once I realized my polar alignment is completely off. I went to, I'm like, okay, well, APT does have, a polar alignment, routine that I can run through that. I've never used it before, but hey, I'm here. I'm not doing anything else. Let's do this. And, I take a picture, imaging started. And wait. And
so that was a camera issue?
So then I ended up with a camera issue on top of my polar alignment issue. And like after about an hour of messing around, I'm like, I am so done. I'm like, I started stomping around. I packed that up, and I just pulled out my DSLR. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get Milky Way.
There you go.
Like, this is something I can't see at home. So I do. So I did get some images of Milky Way.
And you don't have access. You don't have visual sighting of Polaris by your house, right?
It is in an area. Well, actually, one of the little trees is down, so I do have a bigger area in the summertime. So I might be able to. I mean, like I said, I can see it at home, and I just. So
can you get within 5 degrees of Polaris to eyeball it?
Yeah. Like I say, I can eyeball it.
You could use Sharp Cap for polar alignment then.
Okay.
And it's only.
I don't have Sharp Cap now.
Yeah, but it's $17 a year. I mean.
Yeah, I need to do that. I need to do something because it was like like the best laid plans. And,
but just what I'm saying is $17 a year opposed to $300 for a Polemaster, and you could use your guide scope to polar align.
Yeah, and that's maybe what I need to do. And like I said, there is a routine that I guess you can use in APT, but I'm not familiar with it.
APT, Nina, they all have something. I find that if you have no sighting of Polaris, you could use Nina's 3-point polar alignment, which doesn't need to see Polaris. However, Sharp Cap, you need to be eyeballed good in order for it to play itself.
In the summertime, I'm better. I used to just be a much smaller area. Wintertime, I'm shooting it through a donut. I mean, it's like literally there's so many trees, and they're my neighbor's trees, so I can't take them out. I mean, but it's an area like about that big. I mean, I have to go and actually find Polaris, and you like a little green pointer, and then kind of walk myself backwards to figure out where I can put my scope. But I've got that down to a science, kind of, sort of. But and once I get it in, once I have it in my polar alignment scope, I don't have any problem manually aligning, and I can usually do it in like a minute, 2 minutes. But But as I found out, again, in a dark sky, if I am not right on top of it, just getting that declination right, and it's like, oh, is that Polaris? No, maybe that one's Polaris. Oh wait, maybe that one's Polaris. Oh no, maybe it's that one. Oh no, maybe it's that one. I'm like, crap. And then before I know it, there's so many stars in the sky, I can't figure out where I am. So
Dave had a decent question. Is it better to polar align with the guide scope or the main scope? Well, I mean, I would say it really depends on how accurate you need to be based on the focal length that you're using.
Right.
If you're using an off-axis guider with a 9 1/4 Schmidt, well, you have no choice but to use, your off-axis guide cam for that. So you're going to be using your main scope. That being said, in all fairness, in this day and age, and I'm going to get shot down for saying this, and I appreciate that for anybody who does. With polar aligning, if you're within 5 minutes, it could be guided out. You know what I mean? It could be guided out. So, I mean, how close do you really need to be these days? It's not like back in the day where you're sitting there and you got to be dead on. You got a crink in your neck from looking at the back end of a Schmidt-Cassegrain trying to polar align with your finder scope. It was a horrible, horrible travesty because you had to turn the whole scope upside down pretty much to do it. And nowadays, you could guide a lot of polar alignment error out. Now, is it better to have a tighter polar alignment? Yes, because it will lower the corrections that are sent to your guider. So less corrections, less movement, usually better photos. So that being said, I would tell you that if you're over 1,000 or 1,500 millimeters and you're going to be using an off-axis guider anyway, in most cases, you're going to be using your main scope to doing your polar alignment anyway. Just make sure that your software, when you're doing the polar alignment, that it can plate solve what you have based on your focal length. Sometimes there are other programs out there that need to be close to Polaris or something in order to start the process. And if you're not there and your field of view is too tight, you may never solve your first image. So just be careful with that. That's a question for you, Eric, from Alexandra Rosa.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about the ASIR All Sky alignment? Have you used it?
I honestly have not. I've never used it, so I can't give you a fair, honest answer because I've never even used it. Yeah. I know it was. I don't know if it's still considered beta. I haven't even really looked. Last time I checked, it was still considered in quotes beta. So I don't think it's anything that's been, confirmed, like say general release or general availability or stuff like that. Have you tried it, Alexandra? Are you just asking, my opinion, or have you had a chance to try it? And what are your thoughts if you have? Be curious to hear that. But I think it's these types of methods of polar alignment are very important, because not only if you are in areas such as like where Jessie is, where she's surrounded by trees, or if you are in the southern hemisphere, or you're just in the northern hemisphere, but you don't have a very good view of the pole star, these methods of for all-star polar alignment, I know Celestron, they do it through the hand controller or through CPWI, where you can do where they have a all-star polar alignment method and things like that. I think they're well valued. I think they're very smart. You should, because you just never know where especially if you travel, you never know where you might end up. And that would be a good thing if you don't have a chance or that nice shot of Polaris to polar align here in the northern hemisphere. It could be difficult for a person. So having that, it could
absolutely. And Jesse, Norm Newman had a point for you. If you're sitting there and not able to see Polaris. You know, PhD guiding also has the drift alignment, and basically you let it drift, and it has two lines, and you just want the line. You just keep on moving the mount a little bit so the lines overlap, and it's
I forgot that was even a thing.
Here's my question. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Here's my question when it comes to PhD polar, to the PhD drift align.
Yeah,
it seems that it can take quite some time.
It does.
You know, it could. I was watching a video, I believe, or something where it took a person between 20 minutes to a half hour or something like that, because they had to keep letting it drift or what have you, to get it down. I mean, I understand that that it is, the method is supposed to be the best and most accurate method to polar align. It's just sometimes that, and maybe it's just me being lazy and that convenience factor. It's like, do you really want to do? But it's probably well worth it to do it if it takes, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. If you want to get that accurate, it's just, it's slow. Exactly. Yes.
Eric, just to kind of segue, there's an app that I have on my Android phone called Dioptra. And let's say you cannot see Polaris. What you do then is you open up Dioptra, and it'll give you the X and the Y axis scale. What you can do then is you set your latitude where you're at, and then all you do then is it acts like a compass. You'll just go ahead then and get it where it says north, and then you hold this thing up, and you can just take a snapshot. And now you kind of get an idea about where north is because you've got the snapshot here, and it's giving you the altitude as well as the azimuth. And it's called Dioptra within, I think, oh God, what's the one in an iPhone? There's a special one that's called an iPhone, but it's called Dioptra as the app on your Android. And believe me, it's fantastic.
Can you type that? Can you type the name of the app maybe in the chat? Maybe because
absolutely, I'll do that.
Yeah, so the only time I use the PhD drift align is on my pier when I left the mount there. I used it, and honestly, I haven't had to touch. I haven't seen, and I've checked it with the guiding assistant as far as polar alignment error is concerned, and I really haven't had to tweak my polar alignment in a year. I haven't had to tweak it at all. But I don't. That mount does not move. It does not move at all. That just stays there. That stays home. It stays there.
Yes, Ernie, I have, and I have some right in my closet.
Me too.
And it is awesome.
Yep, it is awesome. Just do yourself a favor. Do it on a piece of plate glass first, just to get used to the procedure before you sit there and put it on, like, let's say your, $500 eyepiece or your camera sensor. Do it on a piece of broken glass and get used to the procedure of drawing the, showing how thick it needs to be, letting it dry, pulling the thing. You know what I mean? There is a process to it. Do yourself a favor. I'd rather you break a piece of broken glass that's broken than calling us up and saying, well, you guys told me to use it, and now I got a $2,000 paperweight. So, I mean, so just do yourself a favor. Follow the instructions are very good. The videos are very good. David Geeson does a great job of explaining how to use it. He was also on our show last year. He did a great demonstration on how to use it. Got to hit him back up and get him on the show again this year. But it's.
I will also say this for Dan is also, guys, if you're going to use this, make sure you get the rubber
O-rings.
The rubber O-rings. Get the rubber O-rings if you're going to do this, like on a mounted filter or anything like that, or if you're doing it like on your 80 or on your like in my case, maybe in my Schmidt or my refractor, make sure you have the O-rings, and I coat the O-rings with the solution first, that way, and then I'll put it in there because it sort of helps when you're peeling it off because it already has the hardened solution already on the O-ring.
Makes sense.
Makes it, makes it a little bit easier to peel it. But it does work very well. And because I don't use it often, but when I do, like especially when I'm cleaning my filter, I have not done it on a sensor because I don't have that type of a solution. So I won't do it on my sensors. But you can buy the version that you can use on your sensors. There is a different type like that.
Yep.
But yeah, but definitely get some O-rings and stuff like that. So if you want to do your filters and everything, you have enough to do all that stuff. But I think it's worth it. I think it was.
It is. It's worth it. And the box, if you get the the kit, that box will last you.
Yeah, that's
a long time. People say, the first thing that people come up to me about the Red Contact astronomers kit, that it's like $290 or something like that for the kit. But yeah, I mean, it's not expensive when you realize that it could last years. You know what I mean? You're not going to clean unless if you're crazy. You're not going to be cleaning your eyepieces and your filters and everything every month. It's not going to happen. At least it shouldn't happen.
Right.
But it'll last a while. It'll last a really long time. Comes with what, 3 or 4 bottles, plus the brushes, plus the wire mesh, plus the eyedropper and all that. So there you go. Yeah, I could grab mine. It's in the closet of death, not dying, but yep, that's it right there.
And the O-rings right here. Here's the O-rings.
Yep.
So I got all the different O-rings. So
very cool. All right, so let's do the giveaways and get out of Dodge here. So let's do that. All right, so desktop capture. There we go. Bam. All right. And this is for the Woodland Hills $50 WHTC $50 gift certificate. Here we go. Rock and roll. Good luck, everybody. And the winner is, look at this.
Oh, my, nice. Senthil. Congratulations.
Senthil. All right, congratulations, Senthil. You know the deal. I'll send you the email. You get something for Navin, and you'll be, you get some nice stuff. Congratulations, Senthil.
Sir.
All right, and then we got the IP for AP. Where is it? IP for AP. There it is. We got 162 people here. So this is for a free IP for AP 1-year subscription. Free year. Here we go. Bam. And the winner is Senthil. No. Oh, look at this. Ernie Jacobs.
Ernie.
All right, Ernie. Awesome. And if you won one already, let me know and we'll spin it again. But congratulations, everybody. Senthil and Ernie. And I'll send you both emails tomorrow when I wake up. I'm still recovering from the drive. I got home and I worked the next day, so I haven't had a day. Yeah, I haven't had a day off yet. My first day off will be Sunday. So, but awesome.
Nice.
Holy crap. And there we go. Let's go back there. There we go. Nice. All right. You serious, Ernie? You want me to spin again? Did you win one already? Let's see what he says. It's a little bit of a delay. Oh, he's got a membership. All right. So we'll spin again. Thank you, Ernie. We'll spin again. And let's go back to the IP for AP. Hopefully it doesn't come up Ernie again. There we go. And one more time for IP for AP. Here we go. I'll cross you out, Ernie. Thank you, Ernie, for the give back. Raza Tudlik. All right.
Congrats.
ROZSA Tudlik, LIK. Okay. So I will get everybody out the proper emails and we're good to go. Cool. Awesome. Congratulations to the winners.
Yep.
And let's see. Wednesday. Let's see. Wednesday is next. Yeah, Wednesday's good. Just remember that I'll be in Starfest in Canada starting the 12th. So I don't know what you guys want to do for a show. Maybe I'll just throw something up there. But if you want to do it, do a Zoom or something.
Yeah, maybe. Or you know what?
Let's talk over the weekend.
Let's talk over the weekend. I should start being able to start doing the V.
So I'm doing a lot of traveling this summer, so this is going to happen because I got Starfest in September. Let's see, in August. Then I got in September. I got Cherry Springs and Chicago. I'll be going to Chicago. Yeah. So we're gonna have a nice dinner again.
Yeah, we are
paid for by McDonald's.
Are you guys going to the same hotel?
Yeah, same hotel. Yeah, I don't have a choice in that. That's what McDonald's has.
No. I was just saying, is it going to be at the same hotel?
Same place. Yeah. So
cool.
And definitely bring the fam if they want to go. Don't tell them not to be shy, as long as they're feeling well.
I will.
All right. Final thoughts, everybody. It's that time. It's 10:07.
No. Thanks everybody for participation and great feedback on the presentations and all that stuff. I still find that stuff really fun to do and educational. And yeah, just everybody have a great weekend, and hopefully you can get some clear skies, and I'll be living vicariously through your imaging until I can get something.
I hear you. All right, Jess.
Oh, guys, it's very good seeing you all. Seeing all three of you. That's
yeah,
and
sure.
I hope I have some images soon that you can live vicariously through, Eric. I actually did get. I've got to, so I'll have to figure out what's going on with this this hang time issue. I've gone through all the the obvious stuff, and now it's time to start looking at the non-obvious. So, but no, it was great seeing everybody, and great show as always.
Nice, Mr. Pete.
No, always good to hang out with you guys, and it's a lot of fun, Eric. I'm sorry to hear what happened to you, but something good will come out of it. That's the good thing about it. Jesse, always a pleasure talking, and good to see you, and congratulations on what you're going to do. We'll pretty much talk a little bit offline, and I've got some photographs to show you guys offline on that big project I was working on.
Nice.
It's going to be interesting. And then I got a feeling we'll be able to actually, if you guys want some data, we can definitely get some data from that scope, and you can definitely play around with it. So it'll be a lot of fun.
That'd be great.
And good luck and enjoy. Yeah, good luck on you're starting Monday, so best of luck.
Yes, good luck with that.
Good, yeah. Congratulations again. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Eric.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time for you, man. It's really right up your alley. I'm super freaking excited for you. And
as I said, I'll do my best to kind of come in every now and then, but it's been a real pleasure. And as I said, it's great hanging out with you guys.
You'll be back. I know you will. That's come on. You can't leave us alone.
I know. Maybe. I can't wait for you guys to come on out and see me, because we're going to go up to the winery and we're going to drink wine and start the image. So
no, I'll just drink. I don't go near glass things if I'm drinking. I try not to, because the only glass thing I go near is my pint glass, and that's it. Or my wine glass, one or the other. That's it. Anything that costs more than $3, you don't want me near after I'm drinking. After a couple of beers. But anyway, everybody, awesome time again as normal. That it's nice to get back on the horse again. I know that this year has been quite a different type of challenge with all the traveling that I'm doing. I'm hoping to kind of figure out a different way, kind of how to, run the show vicariously through other people if possible, so hint, hint. But, I've been doing a lot of traveling. I've been meeting a lot of good people. I've been doing a lot of stuff, show-based and business-based. So for those of you guys that don't know, please go visit us at AstroWorldTelescopes.com, where we just became a Starfield Optics vendor as well, a dealer as well as your normal vendors, Prima Luce, Player One cameras. So we got a lot going on over there. So go check it out. But that being said, everybody have a great weekend. Hopefully everybody gets some nice imaging out there, and put in for your pictures of the week. Starting on what day is it, Pete? What day is it, Eric? Again? Do we start?
Entries open tomorrow morning. Entries open
tomorrow morning. 8:01 tomorrow morning. So Eric can't go to bed until he sets the link, unless he has it automatically. But it's automatic. Good. You don't have to remember. So that until Tuesday.
Until Tuesday afternoon.
Till Tuesday afternoon, and then we vote Wednesday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. So not much has changed, just the link has changed. But it's starting to become a little bit more streamlined. And I gotta say thank you to Eric for putting in the time and the effort into revamping.
Not 8:02, 8:01.
Not 8:02. I don't want to get a Discord message at 8:02. I don't want to, you know who it's gonna be? It's gonna be Mark Ellis. That's gonna text me. I can't vote. I can't get my picture in there.
It's all good.
Nah, it's all good. Yeah. So, hey, everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy your Saturday and Sunday. We'll see everybody on Wednesday night. Subject to be determined, and looking forward to it. So, everybody, have a good night. And as always, remember, keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. We'll see you later.
Hercules.
Oh, jeez.